Hey there everyone, welcome to another class. Last time we did Articles of Confederation, and now we're going to continue with our government unit that we've been doing and talk about the Constitution. Now the Constitution is a really big topic, so it's not something that we can cover in one 5-minute video, so we're going to be covering individual branches of it. And now by this point we've done enough assignments where you know that there's 3 different branches, that's legislative, executive, and judicial. But today, we're going to start with the executive. Now, the best known part of the executive branch would be the president and the vice president, which right now would be Donald Trump and Mike Pence. They technically are like the CEO of America. So if you thought of America as a corporation, they would be in charge of it. They would be like the president, they would be the CEO, they're the ones that make all the decisions. It's like the Steve Jobs of Apple or the Bill Gates of Microsoft. Now, I want to make that a little bit clearer for you, so I want to use some fictitious person. So think of the president and the vice president of the executive branch like Bruce Wayne from Batman. So if you don't know who Bruce Wayne is, you need to go pick up a comic book or go watch a movie or something, because that's super sad. Now, Bruce Wayne is the CEO of his enterprise, and Batman, let's face it, since he's the best superhero, it's not Superman, but since he's the best superhero, he would be like the leader of the Justice League. So think of them as like president. So President Batman. He's in charge, he's the end-all be-all, he's like the principal of a school, like Mr. Briner would be to us. Now, not only is the executive branch just the president and vice president, but it's a lot more than that too. They also have a cabinet which heads 15 different departments in our government, which I will list later. They're responsible for just the everyday administration stuff. So like, again, they would be like the principals of their departments. And then there's also the executive office of the president, which also does administrative work. Basically, the executive branch does administrative work, makes sure everything's running smoothly, gets things done. Now, they're also in charge of departments like the CIA, which is the Central Intelligence Agency, and the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Those are all under the executive branch, which means that technically they're all under the president. Now, I'm going to run through these departments real quick, but here are the departments that the president controls and is technically the head of these things. So the Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, Justice, Labor, State, Transportation, Treasury, Veteran Affairs. So that's a whole bunch of departments. So all those departments have people underneath them too. And in all, the executive branch employs around 4 million people, which would make them the biggest company in America if they were a company. Now, the president and the executive branch have specific powers that they can do to other branches and then themselves. So I'm going to specifically talk about the president here just real quick. He can veto bills. So a veto means like if he gets a law or a bill that needs his signature to become an official law, he can choose not to and send it back to the House that it came from. So if it came from the Senate or the House of Representatives, he can send it back to them. He can also give executive orders, which are like laws, aren't laws, but like laws to his branch. So he can say something, it affects his branch only and it won't affect other sides. And then he also has more presidential powers in case of emergencies. He can do things without Congress's permission and things like that. He is our most prominent diplomat, which means that when people think of the United States, they think of the president. They don't think of our Congress. They don't think of our celebrities. They think of our president first. The executive branch, the president specifically, negotiates treaties, which means that he goes and talks to nations and tries to figure out solutions to problems that they have. And then also, the president just basically holds this huge amount of influence in our government itself. And if you're following the current events, you'll see that there's lots of people that may not be too happy with what's going on with the executive branch specifically, but now it's kind of turned legislative as well. There's lots going on because every time that a new executive comes in, so like a new president comes in, they usually bring their own people in to fill all the leadership roles of all of the departments, of the vice president, the cabinet, all those things. So this time we did the executive branch and we saw things that they can do and kind of got some information on what the executive branch is. Next time we'll do legislative followed by judicial, and then we'll have one all together, and I might wrap for one, so we'll see. So we'll see you guys next time.